banner. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to
there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su?
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people, search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency.
Corruption all over. And then the funny thing is they come in to shake your hands. Corruption, discrimination, all manner of things, and yet they're coming to shake your hands. Some of you stretch your hands out to shake to those oppressors. Some of you hug the oppressors up. Some of you kiss the oppressors up as though all is well in Guyana. All cannot be well. Now, I'm not saying that at some point in time you can't shake your political opponent's hands. There's a difference in shaking political opponents' hands and oppressors' hands. People who are discriminating against you. Be careful. There's a difference. Good night. It's Thursday, the 27th day of February. My name is Mark Benchop, and we're going to rock and roll for 1 hour. Do share the link and let your friends know that we're on. Some people rang me last evening and say, hey, where are you? How come you're not on the show? And I'm like, wait a minute. Am I not entitled to take a half a day off or something from the show? When you don't see your politicians, your members of parliament in your communities, when you don't see your politicians, those members of parliament in the opposition, most of them are missing in action. Some prefer to write a little scrawly letters, pretend as though they are representing your interests. Long, dotish letters, some of them, don't get me wrong, like 30, 70, 30%, 70. You guys will find out who 30-70 is. I'll tell you guys sometime soon, right? 30-70. And now, look, it's okay to take a day off, a half a day off from this show. But when your politicians are missing in your communities, you don't see them in your village. You don't see them in your region. But yet they're supposed to represent you. Those are the people you have to call. And you have to ask them, what's going on? What happened? How come we're not seeing you? You're getting paid to do what you're supposed to be doing, but you don't see them. The only time you see most of them, wait a minute now. I'm not saying that there aren't a few opposition MPs who are working for their money. We know those few. I have highlighted some of them right here on 107.1 FM. Nima flew best. She stands out in my book. There are a few others who work. And now there's a difference in working and just talk. And the ones who talk, they're bluffing their way. Now, Nima flew best works underground. Can they be doing more? Hell yes, they can be doing more. But some of them, when the lazy ones, and we know the lazy ones, I'm not going to call anybody name. I'm not going to call their names. We need to see more hard-working members of parliament. Now, I don't want to call names because I don't want people to get vexed. It's not that I'm afraid to call Devin Sears. I'm not afraid to call their names. The lazy ones, the ones we don't hear about, we don't see them. And then when you don't call their names, or when you call their names and you ask them, what's going on? Like a shadow minister of health. And lots of other shadow ministers. Where are they? What are they doing? Are they really representing your interest? And then when you call them out, they get vexed, their bumps raise, they start to curse, they use the F-bombs like 30-70, right? And all manner of things. And then they go in some groups and they sue, like in a tenement yard, bench up this, or somebody else who calls them out, is always wrong. Bench up is wrong. Oh man, somebody messaged me for calling out the opposition. I have to remind them, I'm not a public relations guy for the opposition. I'm not. I'm doing this because I love what I'm doing. But some of those guys in the opposition, like PNCR members, PNCR folks, they expect Ben Sharp to just come on these shows and just praise the PNCR, praise the opposition all the time. That's not my job. That's the public relations officer, if they have one for the PNCR, or if they have one for the opposition. I don't know. I'm not seeing the evidence of those things. That's their job. That's not my job. And if I criticize objectively the opposition, whether it's the PNCR or so forth, so be it. I'm not here to praise them all the time and suck up to them. That's not my job. But do I defend? Do I represent the opposition? Hell yes. Do I have any apologies for that? Hell no. And so for those of you who are members of those parties, talk to your public relations people of your party. Let them go out on a mountaintop and represent their party's interests. They've got to be thankful that some of us are doing it. And we're doing it pro bono. At least for me, and those of us right here on 107.1 FM, we do it because we're patriots. We don't do it because of a black paper bag or a brown paper bag or whatever. We don't do it because we get $2 million per month. No, we don't do it because we get 300,000 Guyana dollars per month, duty-free concessions and these sort of things. No, we do it for love of the people. We do it for love of the country. And now don't get me wrong, but those who get $2 million or even those who get $300,000, it's not to say that most of them do it for the money. A few of them do it for love of country. A few of them do it for love of their party. A few of them do it because they're patriots. But the bulk of them, you don't see them. And those are the ones we call lazy politicians. This is an elections year. So help me God, why is it we're not seeing the force out there? All of the members of parliament for the opposition, whether they're for the PNCR, whether they're for AFC, whatever. Why is it that we're not seeing them in communities? When you talk again, when you talk, their bums raise. They get vexed. They want to fight you more than anything else. And the energy, well, I warn them, don't come after me because I'm going to go after you too. Simple as that. If you keep the politics up there, then I'm going to keep it up there too. But if the minute you go in the mud, I'm going in the mud with you too. This is not like Michelle Obama, who says, and with all due respect, when they go low, you go high. Sometimes in politics, when they go low, you've got to go lower. So be careful. And not every time somebody constructively critique you guys in the opposition, that person is your enemy. Use that same energy, use that same force to go after your real political opponents, your real political enemies. And your real political opponents, it's not me. It's not others who want to see the best for the opposition and to ensure we see the back of the corrupt PPP regime. Spend your energy fighting the real political vagabonds, and that's the PPP vagabonds. They're no good for the country. They're not governing the country how it ought to be governed. Equitable distribution of our wealth, of our natural resources. It's not happening. But it appears that most of the opposition MPs are just afraid to go after the PPP regime. They're afraid to fight the PPP regime. And so the bulk of the work is left for people like us on social media or on Benchop Radio 107.1 FM. Dig what I'm saying to you. Had it not been for us on social media, the opposition would have been dead meat. Real dead meat. Because the real force, and this is not, I'm speaking collectively here. I'm not just saying us at 107.1 FM or just me. There are a few of us who are out there every single day fighting, confronting the corrupt PPP regime. And we're not being paid for that. And for me, money is not the big issue. Fighting and seeing the back of the PPP regime is the main concern. And so those of you at Congress Place, stop seeing people because they may not say something that you don't like, that you go after them. Because people may come after you too. Now, having said all of that, in an elections year, you want friends. You want to win an elections. And you cannot win an elections with a divided house. You cannot win an elections with people walking away or people becoming disgruntled and some of you sucking your teeth and thinking that it's okay. That's not politics. Well, in fact, that's not real politics. And only Pakus will see that as real politics. Oh, la shigolang shiwe. Oh, la higolang iwe. Oh, we don't need he. Oh, we don't need she. All manner of things. It is unacceptable. And those of you in the opposition, it's about time you guys prepare to win an elections. And winning an elections doesn't mean cussing out everyday people on your side. It doesn't mean cussing out everyday people who mean well. And some of you have been doing just that. Now, I have been cussing out too, but diplomatic cussing out and cussing out to wake those up in the opposition. Not cussing out people based on slackness and all these manner of things. No. It has nothing to do with that. And some of you in the opposition, some of you at Congress Place, ease the tension. It can get out of hand. And when it gets out of hand, nobody wins. And we all want to win. And we can only win with unity. The real enemy is the PPP, the corrupt PPP regime. They're the real enemies. Focus on them. Now, I'm not saying ordinary PPP members are the enemies. Don't get me wrong. The corrupt officials in the PPP are the enemies because they are corrupting the country and they are dividing the country every single day. The evidence is there. And now let me quickly touch on Vanessa Kissoon. Vanessa Kissoon has resigned from the People's National Congress reform. In an elections year, this is unacceptable. You don't want people to walk away from you. You don't want people to resign. Some may suck their teeth and say, so what? Let you go. But you can't win an elections like that. You just cannot win an elections when you suck your teeth and people go. Now, not everything Vanessa does I agree with. Not everything Vanessa says that I agree with. But Vanessa is one of those who have put her life on the line for her party and for her people. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, whether you like her now or not, it's irrelevant. But what should be appreciated is the fact that she's a member of your party. She may have some disagreements, some of your bumps may raise, and it's okay. It's okay. But over the past few weeks, there seems to have been some sort of healing process. And that healing process was disrupted over the weekend with cussing and cuss up and chase out and go away. And you lie, we don't want you, we don't this, or we don't that, and go away, and this, and all manner of S and this and that from some individuals who want to be placed in office. Some want to be member of parliament. Some want to be the mayor of Georgetown and so forth and so on. It is not going to work. It is just not going to work. And those in the opposition, those at Congress Place, need to get their act together. This is not a cuss-out show. Because there's so many people can go in the gutter and cuss out back. But who does that benefit? Guys at Congress Place, some of you, I know the bulk of you in Congress Place mean well. Don't get me wrong. They mean well, they want the best. And this is not a condemnation of everybody at Congress Place. And so the leader of the opposition needs to rein in those individuals, those few individuals at Congress Place who are causing disruption. And as they cause disruption, people are going to walk away from them. This is not the time for that. So Vanessa Kissoon has resigned, and she has made it clear she has no plans to join any other political party. Now, some of you may run and speculate, let she go along, oh, she might join this part, oh, she might join this. It's emotions. Emotions all around. Then again, there's so much more that I wish to say, but I'll save it for some other time. And those of you in Congress Place, you need to get your act together. The cussing out isn't going to make anything bright. In fact, what it's doing, it's dimming the light. It's getting darker and darker. And in an elections year, it's not going to look good. Because what the people of Guyana need is leadership, a new government, and you've got to be prepared to take over the government. But you cannot take over a government with dim lights and darkness. I hope competent individuals in certain positions, such as, I don't know who the parties, campaign manager and all, they need that. They need proper people in place. This is not where you just take somebody and dash them and put them there. You need competent and proper people in place. If I have my way, because Vanessa Kissoon is far more powerful than a Bond, the umbrella man. He's just a total waste. So he chose to go, let him go. but you don't force people out, as what has happened with Vanessa Kissoon. I hope she reconsiders her position. I know that come elections time, whether she votes or if she votes, she will be voting for PNCR. She will be voting for a coalition. But you don't turn people off. To win an elections, you don't turn people off. And a lot of people are being turned off. Guys, get your act together. Having said all of that, good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshaw. What else can we talk about? What's happening with the school in Linden? Bamia Primary School. What happened? What's happening with this school? Let's ask this Paku, this Jumbi bird. They put there as so-called supervisor of a school for $500 million already spent. And Bamia School cannot be handed over to the people in the community. Why is it that the leadership out there in Linden, the two MPs, Figueroa is busy writing all sorts of dotish letters. People in elect these politicians or these individuals and put them in parliament or write letter, some long-winded letter, some letters confusing all over the place, some in making sense. People in elect people to write letters in the form of representation. You represent them on the ground. What's happening in Linden to Bamia School? But then again, when you talk, they get vexed, their bums raise. Well, lots of them and lots of their bums will have to be raised. This is an elections year, and they've got to get their act together. Simple. Now, I've noticed the PPP going around, and they're blaming the PNC. Two persons I saw died many years ago, and the PPP put out, what is it that the PPP put out? I noticed one of them who bumps race quick when you talk about Congress Place is Sean Anthony Benn. Sometimes these guys got to be objective. They've got to think with all sides of their brain and not one side. Like Sean Anthony Benn. Bumps always raise. Soon as you talk, boom, his bumps raise. He's got to start being objective. If you know Sean Anthony Benn, tell him to be objective. He bumps raise already. But let's get back to these guys. The corrupt PPP regime they're blaming the PNC. PNC killed this body, PNC killed. And they're putting it out and they're becoming more and more bold. And so what you guys in the opposition, Sean, when you're not underneath your car turning screws and fixing something, go into Congress Place and tell them that they got to go on the mountaintop and put all the names of people who were killed, murdered under the PPP regime. And you put at their tombstone, you say, killed by the PPP, killed by the PPP, killed by the PPP. Hundreds of people killed by the PPP. Put them back. Fight them back. Killed by the PPP. These individuals, these three folks from Linden, Alan Lewis, killed by the PPP. Ron Somerset, killed by the PPP. Shemroy Boye, killed by the PPP. Ronald Waddle, killed by the PPP. Courtney Crummy-Wing, killed by the PPP. Donna McKinnon, killed by the PPP. And the list go on and on and on and on. Right, Afras Osman? You've got to confront the PPP the same way, with the same energy or even more energy. You can't see them do stuff and then sit back and don't counter it. You cannot do that. You got to counter the PPP with the same energy or even more energy. That's politics. Then again, Shamela, thank you. You get Orrin Boston. You get the young man, the two young cousins, the Henry boys, killed under the PPP regime and killed by a PPP, a notorious PPP supporter. All of these things they're hiding from you. And so when the PPP does something to say to their support base, opposition guys, do not be afraid to counter them. When they talk and they try to make Burnham look as though he was some sort of a bad leader or a bad president, talk about Chetty Jagan too. Talk about Janet Jagan too. Talk about corrupt Barrett Jagdeo as well. Talk about their leaders too. Don't sit down and just take it. Shame on the PPP. Every minute they're complaining. Burnham this, Burnham that. Complain about Chetty Jagan too. Y'all complain about Chetty Jagan. Y'all think they were easy burning cane fields and all these things, sabotaging the country, starving the people in the country? At a time when people should be enjoying themselves, planting the canes and then the bauxite industry, had it not been for the bauxite workers, how do you think a lot of people from the quarantine jump in a minibus? Some of them didn't even get socks or shoes. They reached till to Linden because it was the bauxite industry that kept Guyana alive. Had it not been the bauxite industry and the bauxite industry money, Jagdeo wouldn't even get money to go to school. And even when Jagdeo and Irfan and these vagabonds went to school, it was biscuits from taxpayers, biscuit and milk powder and all of these things that helped to sustain them. It wasn't cane. Albeit Jagdeo grew up later on and started sucking cane, the juice out of the cane. Good night, everyone. Again, my name is Mark Benchop. Welcome to Straight Up. Now, let's go back to Black Bush Polder. There's a reason why I want to go to Black Bush Polder. Well, you guys know the guys that were protesting there and exposing the corrupt PPP regime and saying that nobody from the government visits them. Not a single one. Well, I hope those folks from the opposition will go on the ground, start doing their work. On the ground, we need to see more. Handing out a little handbill and thing, yeah, handbill. Yeah, that works in a minor way, but go there every single day. Talk to the people. Now let's go back to Black Bush Polder. And I want to show you how those folks in Black Bush Polder are protesting. And I support them 100%. They were blocking the road, and I support them 100%. They're not hooligans. They're not criminals. They're protesting for what is right. They need justice. They're not getting that sort of treatment even from a regime that they probably voted for. And I hope they open their eyes to see that this corrupt PPP regime doesn't care about them, doesn't care about the ordinary people. All they want is their votes. And then when they get their votes, they're gone, they run from them. But when our Indian Guyanese brothers and sisters protest, it is legitimate, right? And I support that. Whether they block the road and they scratch a match and they put tires and thing, we can't condemn them for that. What they're seeking, what they're asking for is attention from the Pakus them in the government. They're not doing it because they're criminals. They're not doing that because they're vagabonds and they're hooligans or they're thugs. No, they're not doing that. They're begging for attention. But when Guyanese of African descent do that, same thing, same pattern. Sometimes our Indo-Guyanese brothers and sisters are worse in terms of the tires and roads and the burn up and thing. It's still legitimate protest, don't get me wrong. And nobody condemns them. Nobody calls them thugs and criminals and all these things. But you let some youths or some people in Agricola or some people in Linden block the bridge right now or tomorrow morning. You get up and you hear Linden Bridge. The bridge from Mackenzie to Wisma is blocked. Tires on it. Or the roads in Agricola, blocked. Or the roads in McDoom, blocked. Or the road somewhere in the quarantine, blocked. Maybe at Firish, maybe at Manchester. And then you're going to hear the condemnations. Oh, they're hooligans. Oh, they're thugs. They're PNC thugs. They're PNC this. You're going to hear the condemnation. Even from some people who look like them too. But let me show you the difference. Let's go to Black Bush Polder again. And I fully support what these people are doing in Black Bush Polder. They're asking for justice. They're asking for attention because they're not getting the attention. Nobody cares about them. And they want somebody to look into their interests. This is why they did what they did. Not bad. Not bad. Kudos to those folks. Kudos to them. And even after they did that, and mind you, I want to make it elusive, that I support them. I think they did the right thing. It should have been more action. More action it should have been. I guess there will be more action. And if those people in Black Bush Polder if they believe that they're not getting the sort of attention from these corrupt people in the PPP regime, they might as well just shut the entire community down. Whether it's My Curie, Let's Be Holden, Johanna, wherever, just shut the tongue down. Shut the community down. Shut all the areas down. Because if you don't do that, then guess what? The government, the corrupt government, will continue to ignore you guys. Zulfikar Mustafa, the so-called Minister of Agriculture, will continue to ignore you guys. Shut Black Bush Polder down. Shut it down. And you see how quick you'll get the attention. And now, it's something else that I want to bring to your attention. After all of that shutting down, you see them guys are running with big iron, big parts from Combine and so forth. Let's go to some of the comments that I saw under that post. Parmanan Lal says the government continues to inject billions into a failing sugar industry, whilst rice is suffering because of simple neglect. This is Parmanand Lal. Parmanand Lal. Kudos to Parmanand Lal for saying this. Brave Parmanand Lal. I don't know who Parmanand Lal is, but Parmanand Lal is talking something that makes a heck of a lot of sense. Parmanand Lal is saying the government continues to inject billions into a failing sugar industry, whilst rice is suffering because of simple neglect. Come to the front of the class, Parmanand. And let's move on. Let's go to Sadia Hanif. That is the right thing. Now, Sadia is talking about the shutting down and those guys blocking the roads and so forth. Sadia Hanif is saying that is the right thing. The farmers on the Essequibo coast need to start protest. I agree with Sadia Hanif. They need to shut down Essequibo as well, as they did just prior to 2015, because under the PPP regime, they do not care about you guys. They do not care about the ordinary citizens. And so Sadia Hanif, come to the front of the class. Continue. Sadia Hanif says, look, this is the right thing to do. Farmers on the Essequibo coast need to start protest. $3,200 per bag of paddy can't pay farmers. What will happen to the people who are renting lands? Farmers have to buy fertilizer, buy medicine to treat plant, buy gas, diesel, pay to pump water, got to pay for machines. This government too unfair towards the farmers. Come to the class again. Sadia Hanif, come to the class again. We'll take a 30 seconds break and be right back.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
They have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. Some folks ain't paying attention. Piri Piri gone doing she own, like Piri Piri. Like, you want to have your own talk show. We talking busy here, taking down the PPP, you saying about Harman building this and that. Oh, man. Piri Piri, like the send you? Anyways, let's continue. Let's continue, guys. So, Sadia, come to the front of the class. Let's go back. Oh, gosh, not this Jumbie. Sorry about that, guys, to scare you guys. Let's go to Romel C. Sukram. Romel Sukram says, these are hard workers. I respect all farmers for what they do. The rich would eat their money without these men in the fields. Oh, okay, good. So they're hard workers. Just like when the people in Linden, they protest, they're also hard workers. Just like when people protest in Georgetown, they're also hard workers. They're also hard workers, guys. I just want you guys to know that. And so look, the people in Bush Polder, look what they did. And I agree with them and I support them. But I bet you the PPP vagabonds wouldn't say, Ben Sharp supporting criminals, Ben Sharp supporting hooliganism. And they're not going to say that at all. But you let Ben Sharp say the same. Let us say, for example, these guys in Bush Polder were from Buxton or from Agricola or from Belladrum or wherever, and Ben Sharp say, oh, I support them. They're doing a great job. I love this. Block the road. Oh, my gosh. You would have finished hearing how much Ben Sharp supporting criminals, Ben Sharp this, Ben Sharp that, Ben Sharp this. But look, I'm saying tonight, as I've always said, that I support these sort of actions. And so I support these people in Bush Polder. And I wish they can just wake up tomorrow morning and just shut the entire Bush Polder down. I just wish. I'm just saying. I just wish. But let's go back to Bush Polder for those of you who may have missed it. The people in Bush Polder, I love them. Guys in Bush Polder, keep the struggle up. Keep the struggle up. You get my support, 100% of my support. But let's go on. Let's move on. This is what another person said. Selena Sobdeo said, there is a lot of challenges farmers faces in a daily basis. And for the millers to pay a little price for paddies or any other crops is crazy times. As farmers, we don't see the money that we invest in those crops. Come to the front of the class, Selena. Let's move on. Parmesh Prasad says, much as though I don't support blocking a driveway or access dam, I don't blame the farmers. Okay. So Parmesh Prasad is saying he doesn't necessarily support these sort of actions, but he's justifying it now. He's saying, hey, I don't blame the farmers. Now you see why some people in some other areas have to block roads and block bridge. Sometimes we don't necessarily support them, or we don't necessarily support the blocking of those things, but it's justified. Block them. Block the entire country. It's justified, guys. Parmesh Prasad, come to the front of the class. Glad that you're seeing the justification in these sort of actions. Now, Parmesh Prasad continues, for too long, rice farmers facing a hard time in this country. Imagine investing so much and cattle farmers having their cows destroying your fields and nothing is being done about it. Now, here comes $3,000 to $3,200 per bag. Check how many millions were allocated to sugar industry every year. And what does the rice industry get? Half bag fertilizer per acre per year. Parmanesh Prasad, come to the front of the class. Now let's go back to Black Bush Polder and to show you how corrupt and heartless the PPP regime is. Back to Black Bush Polder.
Black Bush the fucking police. No voy a competir tu bari. Abale mo kabe ng mama papaya. Omore.
So it's in the rice price.
The rice price something to do na ko tak ko ni mga somari. Dela tak tuloy na ko tell why not. Abi ka ma people every week kaya dito kali. Okay.
And now I see there's a comment from a content clock. These guys got some names out of the world. Content Clock is saying something that I agree with. I don't know how many of you listening would agree with this. Right, Ian Williams? I notice Ian knows a little bit about Black Bush, Les Beholden, Maibi Curie, Yakasari. All right, good. Ian Williams. Now, Content Clock, right, is saying, if it was black people, the police would have shoot us down. That is so true. That's another point. Content Clock, come to the front of the class, man. So true. Because when it comes to African Guyanese protesting, there's a different form of reaction from the police. Different form. They send the police there sometimes, and most times rather, to shoot the protesters. I'm not saying that they should go in Black Bush Polder and shoot anybody. But you guys are seeing the difference. For the most part, it is not as if police haven't shot or police haven't killed persons of Indian descent. They have. I know of quite a few, mind you. But good point. Content block or clock. Content clock. Good point. All right. Moving on now. Let's go back now to some more comments. And I want to take you guys. Thank you so much, Parmesh Prasad. Come to the front of the class. Let's move on. Same blocking of the road, the access road, and so forth in Black Bush Polder. Renuka Autar. I agree with them. Only who feels it knows it. Come to the front of the class, Miss Autar. Come to the front of the class. Miss Autar is saying she agrees with this. I could watch that video all night. I just love it. Block the roads. Block it. Block it. Block it. It's perfectly fine. It's legal. There's nothing illegal about that. Nothing. And you notice there's no police around. Police didn't really care. They wouldn't go. But you let them hear that them guys in Manchester Village, blocking the road or Irish or somewhere. You're going to see how quick. Right. But Renuka Autar, whenever you see the brothers in other areas fighting and fighting for justice, whether it's against extrajudicial killing or something like that, support them too, Renuka. You come to the front of the class, but support them too, Renuka. They're also fighting for justice. And you are correct. You are correct. Who feels it knows. Just like when the people in Linden were fighting for justice. Who feels it knows. Just like when the people in Agricola or Buxton or Belladrum or wherever else are fighting for justice and protesting. Who feels it knows. Support them too, Renuka Autar. Thank you. Still, Let's walk Renauka Outar to the front of the class. Do we have anybody else to the front of the class? Yeah, why not? Let's go. Lots of people. Hari Budu. Hari Budu, how are you doing? So Hari Budu is going to come to the front of the class. We run out of seats. Let's ask Mr. Paul Slow to get up, please. And yep, get up there, Mr. Paul Slow. Let's put Hari Budu in the front of the class. Hari Budu is saying here, the Minister of Agriculture has a lot to answer for. A lot of money is being injected into the agriculture sector by the government, and the people is not seeing any benefits. The farmers and the consumers are crying. Hari Budu, you made a very good point. They might have money allocated through the budget, but you know why you're not seeing the ordinary people, the farmers and so forth, them not see the money? It is because those corrupt officials in the PPP, them a thief them. Them a take it, them a put them in a pocket, them a put it in a pie, them a put it in a bokta, them a put them in barrel, them a put them in suitcase, them a put them in all them banks, GBTI, you name it, banks. Banks. That is what they do with taxpayers' monies. But let me say to Hari Budu, as you come to the front of, come on, Mr. Conway, give up your seat, please. Mr. Paul Stowe, give up your seat, please. Thank you. Right? Next elections, Hari Budu, vote the corrupt PPP out if you want betterment. Renauka Outar, if you want betterment for Guyana, vote the corrupt PPP government out of office. Parmesh Prasad, vote the corrupt PPP out of office if you want betterment for Guyana and betterment for rice farmers and all the farmers and so forth, all the people of Guyana. If you want betterment, Parmesh Prasad, vote the corrupt PPP out of office. Selina Sogdeo, if you want betterment, vote the corrupt PPP out of office. Oops, this Jumbie. Get this Jumbie up. I don't know. I feel for those people in Linden, man. Bamia Primary School. I feel for them. Get this Jumbie off the screen. Okay, now let's go to Romel Sukram. Romel Sukram, if you want betterment, you got to vote the corrupt PPP out of office. Sadia Hanif, if you want betterment and want better price for your paddy, you got to vote the corrupt PPP out of office. Parmanan Lal, if you want betterment, if you want a better government, if you want a government that cares for all of the people, you got to vote these vagabonds out of office. Vote them out of office. Are you guys hearing me loud and clear? Vote them out of office, guys. Completely out of office. Don't look race and these sort of things. Don't vote race or anything. Vote the PPP out of office. Now I want to take a quick break. I do want to take a quick break, and then sorry about that. Our studio guys are signaling that we may have to take a quick break, right? I don't know about you. Should I take a quick break? Should I just leave or what? Talk to me. Here's why I want to take a quick break. I want to play a song for everybody. I want to play a song for them. Everybody. All those who I call in the front of the class, I want to play a song for you.
This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long time got some lang logy, now you got some bungalow. Long time got some lang logy, now you got some bungalow. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this now there before time. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. This time a long time, this time a long time, this now there before time. This time a long time, this time a long time, this now there before time. Long time got them juk juk lam, you got them electric light. Long time got them juk juk lam, now you got them electric light. This time a long time, this time a long
Corrupt PPP should know that this time indeed, in a long time. And you've got to get rid of the PPP regime. They're no good for Guyana. They're no good for farmers. They're no good for public servants. They're just no good for Guyanese. And in order for Guyana to grow, I agree with a comment there I saw, in order for Guyana to grow, the PPP must go. Vote them out. Vote them out of office. And that is why I'm calling on the opposition. All of them to get their acts together. Now, is that the time for people to resign and walk away? And then when they're resigning and walking away, you're smiling and you're laughing, you know, because birds can't win elections for you, you know. I repeat, because birds can't win elections for you. I'm out of here. By the way, the guy who says, what they under my nose, I'm out, and begging every minute he kissing, he's in Guyana. And you've got to be careful because the PPP is going to use him to brainwash. You know who. I'm out. God bless you.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech.
Nou wè yon koman tou nou kou li chame. Di sa li kon chame le, black bush ave leve, ki fucking punish. Nou wè yon kompite tou bari. Ava leve kabe nou mama papaya. Omo nou e.
So they say the rice price?
The rice price, something to do, they go talk to him, man, somebody. They don't talk to no one, come tell why nothing. And they come out, people every week, okay.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen. Body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Hear me sing.
This not the people time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not the people time. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you got some tight straight. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you got some tight straight. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you got some tight straight. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you got some tight straight. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not the people time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not the people time. Long time got some broad churia. Now you got some bamboo jai. Long time got some broad churia. Now you got some bamboo jai.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata from Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter. And And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
चादर बिछाओ फरमा रिंदर के चल सोई रहना रिंदर के चल सोई रहना चादर बिछाओ फरमा चुकरिया चादर बिछाओ फरमा रिंगला के चल सोए रहना रिंगला की चाल सोए रहना चादर बिछाओ फरमा चौधरिया चादर बिछाओ फरमा रिंदर के चल सोई रहना रिंदर के चल सोई रहना चादर बिछाओ फरमा चौधरिया चादर बिछाओ फरमा रिंगला के चल सोए रहना रिंगला के चल सोए रहना
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
चादर बिछाओ पलमा चौगरिया चादर बिछाओ पलमा मेंगला की चल सोए रहना मेंगला की चल सोए रहना
Não vai colar tudo com o Itabe. Diz aí qual dia beleza? Black Bush beleza, que fucking police. É. Não vai competir com o Mari. Abale fica vendo mama papaya. Vamos aí.
So it's in the rice price.
The rice price something to do na ko tak ni mama so Mari. Dela tak tu ai na ko te vai not. Ada ka ma people be ka yan ni kali. Okay.
मोरे ससुर जी की डुई डुई महलियां मोरे ससुर जी की कोई कोई मलाहियां सबसे सुंदर हमारा महिला चौगरिया चादर बिछाओ पलमा निकल के चल सोए रहना निकल के चल सोए रहना Hey, why go be like that? सूरज की ढूई ढूई पलंगियां हम से सूरज के तोई तोई पलंगियां सबसे सुंदर हमारो पलंगा तो डरिया चादर बिछाओ हरमा नींद लगे चल सोए रहना नींद लगे चल सोए रहना Go next.